You're listening to the Captain's America Radio Show. More stimulating talk at your home of common sense.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Captain's America Radio Show. I'm the Captain, Matt Bruce, and joining us right now, Florida Governor Rick Scott. Governor Scott, welcome back to the Captain's America Radio Show.
How's it going?
Doing great. Listen, you've been a busy little camper. The budget got passed, so now what?
Well, it's great. We had a great session, great budget. The budget reduced taxes, business taxes and property taxes. I'm going to sign the budget. It reduces the cost of government. I'm going to do my line item veto, go through every line, and supposedly over 3,000 lines. We also got a lot of good things done in the session. We improved education. We improved our pension plan for everybody involved. We streamlined government. We improved our economic development efforts. We're going to start drug screening welfare recipients. So we did a lot of good things to get this economy going. We did Medicaid reform, which is going to be better for our Medicaid, Medicaid, which is our health care plan for those that can't afford health care. We improved their plan. So we got a lot of good things done this session.
Well, Governor Scott, my listeners were calling today and asking questions they wanted me to ask you. So I've got a couple of questions here for you. How about the property taxes? That was discussed early on. We heard it in the campaign. Nothing's been done yet, but can we expect to see something, sir?
Sure. We're reducing property taxes $210 million. So if you look at what we accomplished on the tax side, we're starting the process of phasing out the business tax. We did it we're completely phasing it out for almost half the business taxpayers that paid last year in our state. So that's a positive. And in property taxes, that would be for the benefit of homeowners, for business owners. And my belief is those dollars will go back into the economy through new jobs, because my experience with business owners is they want to build businesses. So if they do well, better financially through lower taxes, they'll put that money back into hiring people and trying to expand their business.
And, Governor, a lot of people are still asking the question, why can't we make gambling legal down here in Florida in certain places, and expound on that?
Well, as you know, the legislature spent time looking at that issue. We do have gaming right now in the state, and so I know the legislature continues to look at that. Nothing happened this session.
Okay. And, folks, we're speaking with Florida Governor Rick Scott, calling us live, and we're very fortunate to be able to speak to the governor. He's a busy man these days. Governor, we understand that the money that we would have gotten for the high-speed rail train went to California, New York, Illinois, Minnesota, all $2 billion of it. I don't really think that we miss it all that much, but coming to the area, obviously we've got the steamship lines here, with the cruise ships, and we've got the airports, and there's over there in Disney, they've got that monorail that runs around over there. There's things that can be done to expound on that and use what we've got here in our state to make things a little better, correct?
Well, it's interesting. When a month or so ago they said that the high-speed rail money, which made no sense for our state, was going to be used to reduce the deficit, and now they're saying that they allocated someplace else. So only our federal government can allocate things twice. Mm-hmm. But look, the high-speed rail project would have been a disaster for Florida. We would have had to pay for finishing the cost, which could be $1 billion plus. Mm-hmm. All these things lose money, so that would come out of your tax money. And finally, if we decide ever to shut it down, we'd have to give $2.4 billion back to the federal government. The other thing I asked when we were doing it, I said, look, we've got a lot of other projects in Florida that we could use this money for, whether it's our ports, our infrastructure, our cargo rail projects. And they said no, 100% of it had to go for high-speed rail. We couldn't allocate any of it. So that's frustrating that they're not spending that money the right way. But I'm not going to do anything that raises the taxes on citizens of Florida.
And, Governor, it looks like as if right here in our backyard, Port Manatee is going to be that deep water port that they're going to be having the large container ships come into out of the Panama Canal, which is going to really mean a lot of great jobs, including the expansion of the rail, building of a special exit ramp off I-75. And it looks like we could have over the next 5 years upwards to 2,000 or 3,000 people just working out of Port Manatee.
When we have a big opportunity with the expansion of the Panama Canal and the expansion of economies in Central and South America, and in our vicinity and all these great ports. We have 14 ports. So as you know, I took a trip with the port directors down to Panama and a lot of other individuals to help build our relationship with the shipping companies that are going through the Panama Canal. We have a significant opportunity in Florida. we've already, and so I focused on that through Florida Department of Transportation. We already took some money out of the Florida Department of Transportation and allocated that to the Port of Miami to make sure they're ready. But I'm sitting down with each of the ports to make sure that we're ready for whatever they want to accomplish with their port.
And, folks, we're speaking with Florida Governor Rick Scott today here on the Captain's America Radio Show. Well, Governor Scott, a lot of people are concerned about this UN Agenda 21 and sustainable development. They don't understand it. A lot of people don't even know what it is. We do have it in Sarasota County with what's called the 2050 plan. It's spotty, to say the least, around Florida. What do you know about this, sir?
Well, I know it's not good for Florida, and so I'm going to make sure that we're not giving somebody else the power to figure out our destiny. I'm focused on our rights as an individual state. I don't believe the federal government should be telling us what to do, and clearly the UN shouldn't be dictating how we build our state.
Oh, yeah, and this is what people don't understand. This is the UN telling us what to do with our property and with our own lands. And, folks, we are speaking with Florida Governor Rick Scott here in the Captain's America Radio Show on News Talk 820 WWBA. Now, Governor, oil. We all know that we are being raked over the coals. I am sitting here today, sir, looking at the price of gasoline, wholesale gasoline by the truckload, by the boatload, by the train load. $3.37 a gallon without adding in the taxes. Crude oil right now sitting at $103.57 a barrel. A lot of people want to know, sir, when the heck are we going to drill in the Gulf?
You know, what doesn't make sense is we don't have an energy policy for our country. We've become more and more, rather than less and less, dependent on foreign oil. And you look at what's happening in these countries around the world and all the turmoil. So we've got to, for the safety of our economy, the safety of our citizens, we've got to become as energy independent as we can. So we have to have an energy policy. We're working on that at the state level. We've got to look at renewables. We've got to look at offshore drilling. And we can't do offshore drilling unless we're very comfortable we can do it safely, because we can't take the risk of ruining our beaches or ruining our economies, like what happened with the oil spill last year. But we've got to look at that, and we've got to figure out how to become as energy independent as we can.
And Governor Scott, my follow-up question to that is, a lot of people question why we can't build a refinery and help Florida out that way, cutting down the transportation costs of having to bring it over from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. And the perfect place, it seems, to build a refinery would be there at the Pensacola Navy base.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that we don't have a plan to become more independent, a plan to reduce the cost of our energy. And if we don't, if we don't do that, then we're just going to make ourselves less and less competitive. And,
folks, we are speaking with Florida Governor Rick Scott here on the Captain's America Radio Show on News Talk 820 WWBA. Governor Scott, the Submerged Lands Act is something that's been discussed by the governors in Virginia. Also, the governor in Louisiana, Bobby Jindal, has looked at this without making much of a comment. Governor Rick Perry has looked at it, as well as Haley Barbour. Have you had a chance to take a look at the Submerged Lands Act, sir?
No, I've not had a chance to look at that.
All right. Well, that's something that apparently we could use to our advantage in claiming the oil that's out as far as 200 miles and bringing it back to Florida and using it as a resource here in the state of Florida. So that's something that a lot of people are asking about, and, of course, it is being discussed.
All right. I'll start looking into it.
All right. Very good. Now, Governor Scott, I got a couple of questions left. Immigration, people are wondering about immigration. Back in 2008, we spent some $3.8 billion in all types of money, including Medicaid here in the state of Florida. That number has grown to, I believe, about $5 billion. What the heck are we going to do to get this under control here in this state?
You know, it's so frustrating. The federal government won't do their job. They need to secure borders. They need to have a logical national immigration policy. They need to make sure that we have a logical work visa program. If they don't do it, then we're going to have to take things into our own hand. If somebody's in our state illegally and they violate our laws, we ought to be able to ask them for their ID, no different than you get asked for your ID if you get stopped. It has to be fair. It can't be any racial profiling. So what I've done so far, and it's disappointing the House and Senate didn't get something done on that. What I've done so far is my first day in office, I required all of my agencies to use E-Verify in hiring anybody, and anybody dealing with my agencies on the outside, any companies, to use E-Verify in their companies. So hopefully the House and Senate next session we'll get something done on immigration reform.
And Governor Scott, thank you very much for being a guest today. We appreciate the opportunity of being able to speak to you and look forward to speaking to you again real soon.
All right, have a great day. Talk to you later on. Bye-bye.
Most certainly will. Governor Rick Scott, everybody, Florida Governor Rick Scott. Right now we have the news, and we are coming up on the news with Steve Summers.